I'm joined on the telephone now by a young man called Matt Holland, and Matt has started up an American football team here in Bury St Edmunds, and he's going to tell us all about it because, Matt, I might know what a first down and a 10 is, but not all of our listeners do. Morning, Matt.
Morning, Julie.
Good
How
morning.
Are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Tell us, American football hitting Bury St Edmunds. It's a bit groovy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's something new. To be honest, it wasn't actually myself who started it up. Our head coach, Chris Wallace, was the man behind it. We had a pretty devoted committee before I got involved. But they started it up back in April, and we had a massive recruitment day, and we had a really good turnout. There's a great bunch of lads just kept coming back week after week. And the coach was very good. He's got us all trained to a pretty competent level now where we do what we do. And we're looking to recruit more players again, ready to hopefully play games by the end of the year going into next year.
Okay, so tell us a bit about American football, because if somebody's listening now and thinks, I don't really know much about it, but I wouldn't mind getting involved, what's entailed?
Well, it's as most people know, it is a pretty rough sport. I mean, it's a lot of contact involved, a lot of impact. You wear a lot of protection in your shoulder pads and your helmet, and you wear it for a reason. But on the other side, it's also a very tactical game. A lot of people compare it to a rugby around in this country, which is a bit of a shame because it's actually nothing like it apart from the ball's the same shape. But I would say it's a bit more like chess than it is like rugby because you're just constantly trying to outwit your opponent, double guess what they're going to do. It's just the offensive side against the defensive side, one player at a time. The goal is obviously to get to the other end of the pitch and to score a touchdown, which you convert into conversions and basically outscore your opponents.
Do you have to be very fit?
Well, the other great thing about the sport is it takes all types. I mean, there's little quick guys who you need to obviously move the ball on the ground, but you also need your big, strong guys, even your fat guys, just to stand there in front and protect the quarterback. I mean, we've got Dan on our team at the moment. Who would have thought, to see him reduce from how big he was to what he is now? He's a right little muscle package, and he's great. And it just takes all shapes and sizes.
How much time does it take? How much time a week do you spend training or playing?
Well, at the moment, our main training happens on Sundays. We train over at Thurston Rugby Club. That's from 11 a.m. through till around about 2 p.m. Or if coach is angry, he'll keep us till 2:30 or 3. But we also do a midweek training session, which is a bit more relaxed. At the moment, it's that we just kind of casually meet at Hardwick Heath from 6:30 to 8:30. So we'll be there tonight if anyone wants to come along. And yeah, it's quite a steep learning curve if you don't know the game. But I say the team we've got at the moment are really there, ready to bring anyone along. And yeah, if you haven't thought about giving it a go, just give it a go. If you don't like it, what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
If you do, a lot of guys who've never played it before have just got hooked on it.
Now, Grant's my producer in the studio this morning, and he's a big follower of American football.
Okay.
Morning, Matt. I am indeed. I'm an Oakland Raider fan, and they haven't won a lot for a wee while, but there we are.
I don't mean to insult you, but they're pretty awful at the moment.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. They weren't, believe me, but they are at the moment. Now, in America, the season starts in September and goes through to March, something like that, isn't it?
Yes.
And now, are you in a season, or are you playing friendlies, or are you in a league, or?
At the moment, we're still, it's quite a big thing to start going. So we're still kind of at the stage now where we've got a core group of players, and we're just looking to recruit to build the squad strength so we're ready. Ideally, we're looking at playing friendlies and getting into scrimmages with other teams around about September, October time, so quite soon. And then next year, look to joining an organisation and going from there. So there's quite a lot to sort out still. But I say once we get more players, we'll be good to go. And yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And you mentioned that I agree with you with the tactical side. It's a bit like chess. You're absolutely right. And who's coming up with that? Are you coming up with all the plays?
Well, we've got head coach Chris Wallace. He's the main driving force behind the team at the moment. But what's fantastic for the slightly older players like myself and Neil, we're kind of looking to turn to coaching as well. So there's not only players. If people want to get involved of any age, we're also looking for people who want to come along, maybe know the game, want to try some coaching. And it's got me infused that, my girlfriend gets bored because I just sit there creating new plays and with my nose in the playbook all night long. trying to, develop my own offensive play calling skills whilst developing as a player. So any age, any fitness level is really open to everybody.
Because for those that don't understand the play, in a way it's a series of numbers, would be right to say.
Yeah, effectively. Well, the game's all about numbers and statistics, really.
Yeah.
So and you can get lost in it for hours at a time.
Yeah.
But once it clicks, it's almost like you'll look at the game, and if no one's telling you what's going on, you would get kind of bored. But if someone tells you what's going on, it will just suddenly click, and you will open up this whole new world.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it is clearly it's a growing sport in this country. It was massive. You probably weren't around. You weren't born in the 80s, but it was massive in this country.
Probably older than you think.
Yeah, it was massive in the 80s, and then it sort of dwindled away a little bit. Now it's come back primarily, probably because it's on the television a lot more these days, and the fact that Wembley hosts a game every year, which does help. My son went to the game when it was on at Wembley the last time, and he had an absolute ball. It was a great evening's entertainment or afternoon's entertainment. Bearing in mind that a game is 60 minutes, really, isn't it? Four periods of 15 minutes?
Yeah, 60 minutes.
But it lasts.
It goes on forever, though, doesn't it? Because they stop the clock and everything, don't they?
Which I think's great.
Matt, thanks ever so much for talking to us this morning.
That's all right.
If anyone's interested in getting in touch, or do you have a website or an email address, or can I do that, or have you got?
Yeah, we got a few ways you can get in touch. We've got Twitter, which is just @BurySaints. We also have a Facebook page, which you can find if you just search Bury Saints Football Club. You'll find that really easy enough, and you can like our page. And we've also got the website, which is really simple. It's just www.burysaints.co.uk.
Fantastic, Matt. Thanks very much for joining us this morning.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Keep in touch, and I think Grant and I'll be down there cheering you on your first game.
You're welcome anytime.
Thanks a lot.
If Grant wants to come down and get involved in a practice, he's more than welcome.
Do you know what? He could do with a bit of exercise. Thank you so much.
We promise we'll look after him.